Hello, Taurus. So you, Scorpio, and Leo all tied for 7th place in terms of the most watched of the Starseed videos. So I'm gonna probably put all 3 of your videos out together. 3 of your AstroCharms videos, I should say, out together, because like I say, as of this moment right now, you're all tied. If that changes, then the order may change in terms of which one of you goes out first. And I like this format for 2 reasons, and I'm going to keep doing this format for 2 reasons. Number one being the sign that's most watched. That tells me that that's the sign that's the most active, meaning they, I want to make sure that they get their videos, their readings first, because they're the most active. But beyond that, it can get monotonous filming these in the same order all the time and posting them in the same order all the time. So I just kind of want to switch it up. We have the song Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Pet Benatar. So you probably noticed that I have another deck here. This is another one that's new to me, the Star Trek Next Generation Tarot. Now I have to admit that I didn't actually watch this series, but I am a fan of the original Star Trek. And even though I didn't watch this series, it doesn't mean I don't want the actual, of course I want this. I am addicted to tarot cards. You better believe, being a Trekkie, I want this deck. So if you are a fellow Trekkie and you did watch this series, please forgive me if I don't know who the characters are right away and I have to look at the book. Although you guys are number 7 and I haven't had to look at the book yet. It hasn't struck me as, where I need to know who the character is to be able to explain what's going on. So anyway, we'll see. So what we're going to do with the cards is we'll use them for a good, general overall energy of what's happening for Taurus in December. And then from there, we'll move on to the charms to see, what specifically do you need to be aware of over the next month regarding this energy. And I may be back, I may not be back in the middle of the month. It depends on how busy that I am to do a, mid-month check-in with the AstroCharms. I just don't know yet. Like I say, I'm trying to catch up on these videos, and then I have some inventory that I have to catch up on and updating my website and stuff. So I don't know. We're going to see. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's see what's going on for Taurus. Okay, so now we have the 9 of Wands. I almost said the 6 of Wands. Okay, so because I almost thought it was the 6 of Wands, and I'm just getting to know the deck, we're going to read it as both the 6 and 9. But first we have the song Bad Child, Tones and I. So if this was the 6 of Wands, it would be the recognition over a victory, right? If it's the 9 of Wands, that recognition of a victory, or this victorious recognition, maybe somebody else is recognizing all of the fight that you've put in, because that's what this 9 of Wands is. It's I'm tired of fighting. I feel like giving up, right? But if it's the 6 of Wands, there's some success there, and they're calling attention, or they're recognizing the successes that you have or have had. They want you to recognize the successes that you have had, so that you can continue to keep fighting, because that's what the message of the 9 of Wands always is. It's saying you are so close to a successful completion or successful end to your journey. You're so close to being able to put this burden down and relax, right? You just have to, you just can't give up. You have to keep fighting. So take that however it resonates, especially with this song. But what is it that you're fighting? Well, you might be defending yourself and fighting people. Look at, oh, we've got the Queen of Cups in the reverse too. I purposely do not I purposely shuffle in such a way so that I don't get reversals, because I only read them if they fall from the deck that way, or like somehow when I'm doing these readings that, you know, maybe I accidentally hit them or something and they end up, you know, in the reverse, then I'll read them in the reverse. But for the most part, I like them upright. So what this tells me, having this, the Queen of Cups or the Queen of Starships in the reverse, is someone is being a little way too emotional, probably a water sign. Could be Cancer or Scorpio. I'm kind of feeling both with this card in this particular deck, and I know I change depending on which deck that I'm reading. That's just because I read intuitively. But basically, I think you're defending yourself to these people. Well, there's three people involved here. We've got the Knight of Cloaks or the Knight of Wands, so that's Sagittarius or fire energy. Then we have the Fool, which is Aries energy. And then we've got the Queen of Cups or the Queen of Starships, which is Scorpio or Cancer. I'm kind of feeling both with this. So there's probably three people involved in whatever this situation is, and you've been fighting and arguing with them, and you're like tired. You just want, like, maybe you've been trying to fight with them on something that you want to do or something you're trying to accomplish, and they're kind of blocking you in some way, right? And you're ready to give up. But they're saying, at least right now, don't give up. Keep going, keep fighting. It's the last step. Like you're so close, you're so close. Okay, now we have, this is the Nine of Swords. And God, I've had to explain this so many times. I know every time I use this deck, I'm going to have to explain it. You see how you're only seeing halves of the swords here, right? You got four full swords, and then 5 halves. So you've got 4, 5, 6.5 swords when it's supposed to be 9 swords. I'm sorry, I'm OCD. I don't care if that bugs people, if they're looking at it and going, but there really are 9 swords there. No, there's not. There's 6.5 swords there because you're not seeing the full 9 swords. I don't care. It's my OCD. It's how I'm going to read it. So we're going to read this as both the 9 of Swords and the 6.5 of Swords, meaning the stage between the 6 of Swords and the 7 of Swords, where you're trying to move on to something better, but there's some sort of deception that, like, you see some sort of deception on the horizon, or you're worried about some sort of deception, because that's what the 9 of Swords energy is. It's fear and worry. You're worried you're not going to find calm waters. You're worried that you're not going to find your serenity, your safe harbor, right? Your port in the storm. We have the song Like I'll Never Love You Again, Carrie Underwood. Okay, so now we have the Page of Cloaks, which is the Page of Wands. This can be a child, but it's more like good news coming in, because pages are always messengers. Oh, look at now the Sun, even more good news. Something that makes you really happy and makes you smile, but it's also like clarity, some sort of clarity over something that's going to really, probably clarity over a child or a situation with a child that's going to make you very happy, or good news about a child that's going to make you very happy. Look at the colors of the flowers behind her as well. It's like playtime with this. Then look at, now we have the Two of Swords. So there's a choice or a decision that's made. And I say that has been made because in traditional tarot with the Two of Swords, you would see a person wearing a blindfold and they've got the swords crossed over their chest. And so that imagery calls to mind someone who is trying to avoid making a decision, or they're trying to make the decision intuitively, right? And so there's a defensiveness to it. But these swords are not crossed. There's no defensiveness to that. There's no blocking happening here. They're just sitting side by side, meaning they're in tandem, or there's a decision, or they're of the same mind, right? They're in agreement, they're in balance. So there's a decision that's been made. Now we have, and this is like something concrete, right? A decision of like maybe an offer or something like that, because this would be the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is, again, it's a messenger. it's a messenger that really does bring like an offer of something, right? Because pentacles are material goods or something very tangible that you can see, taste, touch, smell, hear, or like you can rely on it in some way. And also he's smiling again, but every time I see this dude, I feel like he's trying to get away with something. So you might look at the offer and be like, well, it's not exactly what I want, or well, this dude's shifty, or well, like something about it, or somebody is shifty. But it is like the energy of, I'm afraid, but yet there's all this good stuff. It's like, get out of your head, get out of your head, get out of your head, is what this is saying. Especially because when you put them like this, where there's 5 cards here, then the sun becomes the central card, meaning this is the main energy. This energy is the energy of the past. This energy is the energy of the immediate future, right? And what's going on in the immediate future is fear. And probably fear about a child, or something about the news of a child, your child, or something. We have the song Heartache tonight, the Eagles. You might want to Google that. I don't think you have anything to worry about, is kind of what I'm getting at. Like, I really don't think you have anything to worry about with the way the cards came out. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that they want to say, or any other clarification. And we're going to do this by, you know, it's only going to be if something falls actually from the deck. I'm not going to choose cards this time. Okay, a couple more, and then we'll move on to the charms. Okay, so now we have the 9 of Cups. These 2 cards are counterparts. They speak of like joy, fulfillment, that kind of stuff, right? Happy cards, happy, joy, right? The Star would be another counterpart to the 9 of Cups, because if you're talking about wishes or wish fulfillment, but if you're just talking about emotional fulfillment, that would be the Sun. Okay, so already that's very positive just to have the 9 of Cups come out. Look at, we've got the Knight of Pentacles, or the Knight of Latinum, the Queen of Latinum being the Queen of Pentacles, the Magician, and then the Queen of Batleths. And it's interesting, it looks like they're all people, right? There's people involved here. So there's probably like a lot of, especially with this, like, so the Knight of Pentacles is, I always attribute Virgo to this energy, because Virgo is that sign that really likes to pay attention to the details. They like to get it right the first time so that they don't have to go back and fix it, right? They want to do a good job the first time. But it takes forever. It's so slow. Virgo can be so slow, right? And it's because they're so caught up in the details. So whatever's happening, it's happening really slow. This Queen of Latinum, or Queen of Pentacles, this is probably Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, who is trying to manifest or create some sort of change. Like, this can be you, but I don't know, like there could be other people. So Sagittarius, or excuse me, not Sagittarius, Virgo here, sorry. You could be dealing with Sagittarius, but we have Virgo here. We have God, I kind of want to say Virgo again, but it could be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn with this Queen of Latinum. With the Magician, this is going to be Mercury energy, meaning Gemini, or again, Virgo. And then with the Queen of Batleths, we've got either Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. So there's a lot of Mercury energy. It's like there's a lot of communication or a lot of information, probably a lot of information coming from these people, or maybe a Virgo or about a Virgo. You might need to look and see where you have Virgo in your chart. You might be dealing with a Virgo. Look at, now we've got the King of Swords, the Queen and King of Swords. These two are like counterparts, right? A matched set. King of Swords is very strategic, but it could be that more that this just being by itself, this was talking about there's some strategy behind this here. That's what all this talking is about. And I say that talking because we've got so much Virgo and Mercury energy coming through here that it can't be anything other than communication, talking, messages and information going back and forth. But whatever it is, I think it's like some sort of strategy or something that where you get some sort of good news. That probably alleviates your fears. Like you don't really have anything to worry about. It takes you then, it's not really the 9 of Swords, it's actually the 6 of Swords because I'm OCD and I insist that there's only 6.5 damn swords here. So you're like, it's saying, so if you go from the 6 to the 7 of Swords, like you're moving on to something better, but once you get to the 7 of Swords, that's where you start to drop some of the baggage that you're trying to carry with you because you're taking way too much, right? Your load is way too heavy. So beyond, being a card of like treachery and secrets, when it does talk about secrets, it can be your own personal secrets, especially if you're trying to move on to something better, something more calm, where you're not fighting so much or having to defend yourself all the time. Then that says you've got to get rid of some of the baggage you're carrying. It's too heavy. You don't have the arm, you don't have as many arms as you need or as many hands as you need to carry everything. So that is kind of a message there. It's telling you to let go of some of it. Give it away, throw it away, whatever you got to do. Get rid of some of that baggage. Let's go ahead and look at your charms to see what do you need to be aware of over the next month regarding this energy. So very interesting. Right away we have 2 charms come out that are, I put them in my box specifically to represent or to be mediumship messages if they fall in one of these readings, right? One belonged to my aunt, one belonged to my mother. So it could be that you have 2 ancestors, like 2 feminine ancestors coming in. One is giving you a message of protection. It's saying you are protected, literally. And then the other one is a message of like you're not paying attention to your intuition, or you're not paying attention to the advice that your mother is giving you. And the interesting thing about this one here, which is the one that's talking about it's a message from your mother that's saying you're not listening to the advice that's being given to you. It's attached to this key and the anchor. So let's look at these 2 together. And it's also attached to the 8th and 9th houses. So this is like, again, this one definitely is a mediumship message because it's coming out in the 8th house, which is the house of death. And my own personal mother has since passed away. This is a button that belonged to her. And so it's saying that you're receiving messages from the beyond. You personally are receiving mediumship messages from the beyond that you are ignoring. And so what these messages are the key to something. They're like the missing puzzle piece to something long-term, something also very stable and secure. There's some advice or something coming through that is the key, the puzzle piece, the last piece that you need to secure something. Okay. But either way, you are protected, especially whatever dreams that you have, whatever you're trying to build, because you've got I can and I will, right? Like you're protected, but beyond that, like you may not even realize the people that you have behind you. And I just say that because the way that this is coming out, if you may not be able to see it, but there's a tiny little angel painted right there on the back of this heart, right? And so that's what the message of this heart was, is saying like the angels are protecting you. That's the reason that my aunt gave this to me. So, but more specifically, you've got this castle, and it's coming out over the 12th and 1st houses. And the 12th house is the house of your fantasies, right? Your dreams. You've got the charm that says I can in that 12th house, the house of your dreams. And then connected to that, you've got the one that says I will, but that's sitting in your network, your social network. So you might have extended family that is supporting you. You might have friends, or you might have connections in some way that are supporting you and helping you and protecting you to secure something. It could be your own personal security, but you're trying to secure something in some way. You're trying to, and for good, right? Like it's not like a heavy, even though the anchor is very heavy, it doesn't feel like heavy energy to me. It feels like it's the key or the answer to something that brings security and contentment and all of that kind of stuff, right? Especially because over the 1st and 2nd houses, you've got the blue tiger eye, which has to do with like how your wisdom can be very abundant to your money or your finances, right? Your wisdom can be very valuable. However, we do have the $100 bill upside down coming out over the 2nd and 3rd houses. It's like, I don't know, it's like, I think there are some losses connected, like there are losses connected to the way that you're communicating. It could also be losses connected to siblings or neighbors or expenses surrounding that. We have this song that's actually very harsh energy. Hold on. Miracle, A Day to Remember, but the name of the song does not really, at least not this part of the music where it's playing right now. There's some sort of expense coming in around your neighbors, your neighborhood, something. There's some sort of loss around that. Neighbors, neighborhood, siblings, cousins. It's either financial loss. It could be like you might lose neighbors, cousins, support from them or something because of your personal values, right? Like the things that you're saying are causing you to lose the support of some people, but they're over here, they're saying you're being protected and you do have the support of some people. Like maybe the people that are closer to you aren't supporting you as much as the people that are a distance from you, like extended or extended family. So in the 6th house we have my happy moon, but it's upside down, and then we have a piece of obsidian. It's like if you're a healer if you're a healer who works with people who are depressed in some way, or like something like that, there's something about working with people who are sad or depressed because the happy moon was upside down, meaning they're not happy or they don't see any blessings, right? But I feel like that's not you, because this is the house of charity or work. Like, where are you spending your time each day, or how can you be of service? It's also the house of health and well-being. So there's something about like depression, which we already saw with the Nine of Swords, by the way. So if you work with others, and you know others who are depressed, you help, you work with them during the day, like to heal or something. They're wanting you to it's like protect yourself, but protect your energy in terms of like, you have to let some of this stuff bounce off you, because that's what obsidian does. It reflects toxic energy back to its source. It's like it acts like a mirror, right? Also, that brings us to the second message for this combination here, meaning that if you are, whatever it is that you're doing each day, how you're spending your time each day, if you are unhappy, the people around you are going to mirror that back to you. So they're saying, like, be aware of how you're feeling and how you are, like what's being expressed. So within the next couple of months, over the 8th and 9th houses, it's saying like be you bravely, which doesn't surprise me, because the 9th house has to do with like your higher self, right? So they want you to embrace that. And you may not even see the need for it now, like you might be afraid to. They're saying try not to be afraid. But also you have the horseshoe, like you don't even see how much fortune is coming in for you in terms of like your reputation and such. And I think it's attached to, you know, your wisdom and this kind of stuff, right? Like following your own higher self, your own values, marching to the beat of your own drum. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this here with the song Fire, the score. I hope that resonates. If it does not, please watch for your sun, moon, or rising. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends, anything that you can to help me, because it really does help me, and I thank you for watching.